ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and this is the first episode with the problem with.
Or the problem of culture.
Yeah, either one. So, in today's episode, we're just going to be discussing two Battlefront heroes that I have essentially built up a kind of like, I want to keep away from them.
A stereotype. What we're going to be talking about is their stereotype of players, and usually when we play as them, how they function.
So, first we're starting up with Luke.
Luke Skywalker from Star Wars Battlefront 1.
So, let's start with the different kinds of players that play Luke. First player is obviously the people who just use him to cut down a ton of troopers and just run out of there as soon as a hero comes in.
They're slippery. Like, you can't get your hands on them when you're a hero or a villain.
That's usually the main kind of player that plays Luke, but there's also the noobs that think Luke is essentially overpowered, I guess you could say, because of the movies. They think he can beat anyone in the game, and so they play with him and realize he sucks, and then they kind of just start playing with him. They kind of get good. They either keep playing with him until they mastered the slipperiness of Luke. Basically, they evolve into the slipperiness stage, or they just completely rage quit and don't play the game because they think that Luke is the most overpowered thing in Star Wars.
Yes. But there's also people with him who use him for getaway. Like, they attack once and then run away, and then when you're just, say, for the Force Moon of Endor, you're just walking, and then he chops you again and runs off, but you're like a slow villain, like Darth Vader. I mean, there's really nothing you can do if he just zooms right by you. It's one of the bad sides to Luke.
Now let's get into our player experiences. So, the experiences I've played with Luke a few times. He's not all that good for me. I've never been able to master the slipperiness. What I do with Luke when I'm playing with Warrior Clover, all I do is I go in with Luke, do as much damage as possible, and let Warrior Clover finish him off with Chewbacca, because that's really all Luke is good for. He's good for getting you damage points. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and when I play with the Gaming Pig, he usually acts as the meat shield with Luke, and then I as Warrior Clover come in with Chewie and just annihilate them. So it's kind of the strategy, but Luke plays a major role, but his role doesn't do much. It kind of just distracts the villains. I mean, and the time being, where the time slot is like 30 seconds for Luke to block every shot and stuff, and then he's dead. And he takes massive damage to even just common troopers.
Yes, Luke is not that good at taking damage at all. He's not a tank like Vader, who can get the battle resistant stages, which is really good. And he gains speed with every kill you get.
That adds to the slipperiness of the players who use him as a quick
getaway. But he is better in Battlefront 2 because he's way more fast in that. But the beginning stages of Luke, not very good. If it's just 3 people versus 3 people in a Heroes versus Villains match, I recommend you don't play Luke unless you have a buddy who can take out or finish the work that you started with Luke.
Unless you know how to play Luke and he's your best character, then once you know how to use Luke, he becomes like an abomination to the villains. Like, no one can defeat him except Bosk because he can match up to his speed.
Yeah. So the next hero we are going to be covering is Lando.
The Calrissian Crasher, or Lando the Lagger.
As we know, the Lando glitches were very powerful back in, 2017? I don't know.
Back then.
Yeah, Lando glitches were very powerful, and everybody feared Lando back then, but ever since they got rid of the Lando glitches, he's never been the same.
He's okay with his power, like his special move. I don't know if it's special move, I don't play with him. He makes everyone's guns have a cooldown. Every villain's guns have a cooldown. That's really good. I've had personal experiences with Lando where he wins over that, but people who play with Lando the stereotype is that they're jerks, as we know from the Gaming Pigs last video.
Yeah, we know that Lando is a big jerk usually, and he'll quit in the middle of the game.
Just like
let's pull up that clip.
Watch this. See you around.
Well,
yeah, he just disappeared.
I was playing with that game, so when I saw that, I wasn't there. I was on the other side of the map. When I saw the clip, I was like, wow.
Yeah, rage quit.
On to player experiences. So, in that very same match, I was playing as Greedo, because Greedo's cool. And, right after I needed a heal, like the player here, heal, I got into a fight with Lando. Greedo and me not having a good relationship with his gun. I spammed the gun and threw the grenade. And, I jumped in the air, about ready to finish the damage to Lando, and he does his thing where he makes your gun have a cooldown, and he just beats me to death with his night sniper.
See, the thing with Lando also is the fact that, Lando is like, he can be good, but only in lucky experiences. I've played with Lando a few times. I can tell you most of the times did not end very well. Some of them have. Like, one time I did beat Darth Vader, then Bosk and Boba Fett came, and then they just... They defeated Lando pretty quickly. But his Power Blast is okay of a move, but it's never been great ever since they nerfed Lando from the Lando glitches.
And Lando players are cowards. One time, me and the Gaming Pig were playing together on the Force Moon of Endor. Takes me back to the Luke story. We were down 4-1. The villains were winning 4-1. And I happened to see Lando across there, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna help him. And I'm looking for him because I just see his icon, and I'm like, where is he? And he's tucked behind a tree. And so I throw my Bacta bomb down on him and place a droid to defend him. Thankfully it did. It killed a shock trooper, but for like the rest of the match he just stayed there until they finally overran him. And that was bad because he just gave up. I think he was AFK.
Yeah, well, it's safe to say that Lando users are also... They just stay in one spot pretty much the entire game, just waiting to power blast anybody who comes by. Because if you didn't know, I think his special power is something like he hits more shots, or it's something like that.
Yeah, it's like the electricity or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something like that. But he just comes by. He'll either zap you with his, like, where you can't use your gun anymore, and then he'll just finish you off. He'll use his Power Blast, or use that fake hero token to lure you in, which I hate that move. That move has got me so many times. I can't tell you how many times. And he'll just place it down, especially on the Forest Moon of Endor. He'll just place it down. He'll hide for a second, and then you'll come by, you'll get electrocuted. He just jumps out of the bushes out of nowhere. If you're a hero, he'll melt your health by the Power Blast.
Villain?
Yeah, villain. He'll melt your health by the Power Blast, and that just sucks. It sucks.
But if you also have someone like Luke's there with you, he can just chop away. But you're lucky if you have someone like Boba Fett or the Emperor, even both, because they can kind of trap him with the fire and electricity. I've seen people like melt away Lando with that, like coordinated players. They melt Lando away. That's basically his weakness I've seen, and because he doesn't really have a weakness on the villains, he usually just waits for the other players to kind of do the dirty work, and then he comes in. And that's my experiences with Landos.
Yep, so that pretty much sums up today's video. And we're going to be uploading again today. Warrior Clover is not going to be in that video, probably.
Sadly.
We're either uploading a Battlefront video, which he is going to be in. Me and him are going to play Battlefront. Or I'm going to upload an ARC video. So, I'll see you then on the next Problem With talk show.